40s, and for a team that's older as the Knicks are, a team that is coming back from some injuries as the Knicks are, this is probably a positive thing. Now, the X factor is if Stoudemire is ready to play, we're getting reports that he's kind of on the verge. What do you do? Where do you put him? How do you bring a player who's obviously going to be rusty back into the rotation somehow? That rust hurting the team somewhat. And how do you tell a guy of his obvious talents that, no, we're not going to play you very much because, yeah, we did pretty well without you. So this is going to give Mike Woodson some decisions to make, most likely. But as they say in the trade, these are good decisions to have to make. The big story, of course, the Geno Smith deal. The Giants draft, largely ignored by a lot of fans, but, you know, they do things like Jonathan Hankins, DeMontre Moore. I mean, these aren't names that you go, wow, look who they got. But the Giants, and Moore is one of these guys that never good combine. There was some marijuana use, all that kind of stuff. But 12.5 sacks. He's 20 years old. Now, if the Jets draft a player like that, I'd go, I don't know, man, you know, the Jets organization, I don't know if they would handle a guy like Moore that well. But the Giants, you know, Coughlin and the front office that they've got and the coaching staff that they've got, they can take a 20-year-old guy. And I think, you know, no, I'm not going to guide him his character and all of that stuff, but I trust that organization to sort of carry him. Now, you never know. Some guys may be lost causes, they may be what they are, and you can't change them. But at 20, going to a professional organization like the Giants, a quality organization like the Giants, they can turn this guy into a pretty good player. Don't forget, Ahmad Bradshaw actually spent time in jail. And he turned out to be a pretty good, solid citizen for the Giants in his tenure here. So I trust the Giants' ability to take a guy that maybe has a couple of issues and straighten them out, whereas in the Jets' case, I'm not so sure. First-round pick, Hankins, you know, big guy. They questioned his stamina. They questioned his sacks. He only had 1 sack. I mean, he's not going to be a big pressure guy from the inside, but he's a run stopper. That's something the Giants need. So they bolster their defense, which, you know, we all have this idea, oh, Giants, great defense, offense, a little iffy. Not that way the last couple of years. And great offense, defense, not so good. So shoring up the defense, more defensive linemen to defensive end like Moore. You go, gee, I thought that was a strength of theirs already. Well, maybe it wasn't. Now, linebacker is an area I think they need to address. Secondary is an area they need to address, and they probably will in the later rounds. But indeed, we trust their general manager to do the right thing, and so far his track record has been pretty good. All right, let's get to our phones. Our toll-free line, 877-337-6666. Brought to you by Mohegan Sun. Visit Margaritaville at Resorts AC, open May 24th. Let's start with Joe in Eastchester. You're on the Fan. Joe.
Hey, Rich, let's talk about the Jets a little bit. You know, it's so unfair to Buddy Ryan. Whether, you know, we got Geno Smith or we're talking about Mark Sanchez.
You're talking Rex Ryan? You're talking Rex Ryan, right? Not Buddy.
Yeah. Unfair to Rex Ryan. Whether we got Mark Sanchez or Geno Smith, Mark Sanchez with some of his, let's call it, acquired insecurities, or we're moving out Revis, the best player on the team, best cornerback in the league, or we've got Santonio Holmes with, you know, maybe his inability to focus. We still got Rex Ryan, so let's play a game. Let's list the top 5 reasons why Rex Ryan should remain head coach of the New York Jets. You go first.
Because they're paying him a lot of money.
I was going to say, because the fact that he has a name written on a piece of paper that's a contract.
Yeah, well, that's number one. Number 2 is, he did get you to the AFC Championship games his first 2 years, and he is acknowledged as a defensive, I won't go genius, but a very good defensive coordinator. So those...
Well, I can have a defensive coordinator on any team that I'm rooting for. but head coach.
Well, I think Joe, there's certainly a question about head coach. I think that in the early going, the braggadocio, the bravado, the swagger, the confidence served him well. It was kind of a breath of fresh air in the organization, in the area, and the players responded to it, played well for him. The last 2 years, not so much. Now, look, the Jets, I mean, the whole range of this, the whole arc of what the Jets have done. First 2 years of Rex Ryan, they sold out for veteran players. They brought in big-time, big names, guys who really didn't have a long-term future with this team, LaDainian Tomlins and guys like that who were on the verge of, not playing anymore. But guys who could give you something, with what they had left. Kind of like what the Knicks did to surround Carmelo, all right? They brought in a bunch of older veteran players, Jason Kidd, et cetera, et cetera. Marcus Camby, some worked out, some didn't. They basically shoved the chips in the middle of the table and said, okay, we're going to